Qatar shoots down Iranian fighter jets as the Gulf conflict erupts into open confrontation. US personnel injured in Bahrain, an oil tanker hit in Hormuz, and missiles crossing borders. The Middle East war is no longer contained. The Middle East conflict has taken a dramatic turn, with Qatar confirming it shot down 2 Iranian fighter jets as hostilities spread beyond the initial theatre of operations. According to Al Jazeera, Qatari authorities said their air defences intercepted and downed the aircraft after what they described as a violation of national airspace. The incident marks one of the most direct state-to-state confrontations since the latest escalation between Iran, the United States, and Israel began. The widening battlefield now stretches across multiple Gulf states, raising fears of a broader regional war. Qatar's move comes amid intensified Iranian retaliation, following joint US-Israeli strikes that targeted key military and strategic sites inside Iran.
Qatar's air defenses responded to a clear breach of sovereign airspace and neutralized the threat.
Tehran has not publicly acknowledged the loss of the aircraft, but has vowed continued resistance against what it calls unlawful aggression. Iranian officials have warned that any country assisting US or Israeli operations would face consequences.
Any aggression against the Islamic Republic will be met with a decisive and proportionate response.
In a related development, US defense personnel were injured in a strike on a hotel in Bahrain, according to a diplomatic cable reported by the Washington Post. The hotel was believed to be housing American military staff. Details about the extent of injuries remain limited, but the incident underscores the expanding risk to US personnel stationed across the Gulf. The attack in Bahrain highlights the increasingly blurred lines between military and civilian spaces as missile and drone exchanges intensify. Several Gulf states host major US bases, making them potential flashpoints as Iran broadens its response. Meanwhile, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has reportedly attacked an oil tanker in the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most strategically vital shipping lanes. The strike further destabilizes a corridor through which roughly a fifth of global oil supplies pass, heightening concerns over energy security and global market volatility. The overlapping incidents signal a conflict no longer confined to isolated strikes. Instead, the theatre now includes air engagements, attacks on commercial shipping, and strikes affecting foreign military personnel across multiple countries. Security analysts warn that the pace of escalation increases the risk of miscalculation. With Qatar directly engaging Iranian aircraft, US personnel injured in Bahrain, and maritime routes under threat, the conflict has assumed a truly regional dimension. Diplomatic efforts appear strained, with little indication of immediate de-escalation. As military exchanges intensify and alliances harden, the Gulf stands at a precarious crossroads. The coming days may determine whether the confrontation stabilizes through deterrence or spirals into a broader and more destructive regional war. The widening conflict in the Middle East has spilled over into international waters, with rising risks to commercial shipping and strategic maritime routes. On March 2, 2026, a US-flagged oil products tanker, the Stena Imperative, was struck by 2 unknown projectiles while berthed at the port of Bahrain in the Persian Gulf, causing a fire that was later extinguished. All crew members were reported safe and successfully evacuated, according to maritime security sources. The event marks the first known attack on a US-flagged vessel since the recent US-Israeli military strikes on Iran triggered a wave of retaliatory action by Tehran. This incident comes amid a broader escalation of maritime attacks linked to the ongoing US-Iran conflict, which has disrupted shipping across the Strait of Hormuz and neighboring waters. Iran's response to Allied airstrikes has reportedly put merchant vessels at risk of collateral damage. At least 3 other tankers were damaged off the Gulf coast, including vessels hit by projectiles near Oman's Musandam Peninsula and off the United Arab Emirates coast, in attacks that reflect the deepening volatility of one of the world's most vital shipping corridors. Shipping associations and analysts warn that the security risk for vessels operating in the Persian Gulf and adjacent waters has surged dramatically since Iran began its retaliation following US and Israeli operations. Industry voices have emphasized the unpredictable threat environment.
Ships with business connections to US or Israeli interests are more likely to be targeted, but other ships may also be targeted deliberately or in error.
Beyond direct hits, analysts highlight other risks, including possible mines and drone strikes, making the Strait one of the most perilous maritime zones in recent memory. The US Maritime Administration has issued advisories recommending that US-flagged and US-linked vessels maintain a safe standoff from military vessels and avoid the area where possible, as even misidentification in a volatile theatre could have grave consequences. The attacks have broader implications for global energy markets. With the Strait of Hormuz accounting for roughly 20% of global oil shipments, insurance premiums for war risk coverage are expected to soar, and shipping routes may be altered to avoid the Gulf entirely, with longer and costlier alternatives, such as around the Cape of Good Hope, increasingly considered.
Any US-flagged, owned or crewed commercial vessels that are operating in these areas should maintain a standoff of 30 nautical miles from US military vessels to reduce the risk of being mistaken as a threat.
As the conflict continues to unfold, the safety of global shipping lanes and the stability of oil markets hinge on developments far beyond the shores of the Persian Gulf, underscoring the far-reaching impact of regional hostilities on international trade and energy security.